5 expert tips to get you more flexible in your hot yoga practice. And these 5 tips are going to get you a lot more flexible, but make sure you watch the entire video because the 5th is by far the most important one. Tip number 1 is to find a tangible goal. This is a very important point. Maybe one of the most profound things I'll say in any of my videos, any of my teacher training programs is this.
Boy, here goes nothing.
In any posture that you do, you want to find your starting position. In other words, a position that you know you can maintain. Find that starting position without judgment. That could be your first problem. Before we continue on, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. You get notified when I post a new video. Any questions, concerns, put them down below in the comment sections. I'm happy to get back to you. And push the like button right now. Okay, now back to the equation. Now you found your starting position without judgment. What's your goal? The tangible goal. The next inch. If you live outside the United States, 2 centimeters. The next 2 centimeters. That's it. Don't worry about doing the full position. Don't worry about how wonderfully flexible Elena is in the front row or Janice is in the front row. Worry about yourself. Concentrate on yourself. What is your starting position? Where's your tangible goal? It can also be on timing too. Let's say you can only hold the posture for 15 seconds. A tangible goal would be, let's go 17 seconds. Let's give yourself that 2 seconds push. That's a little bit more about the strength. We're talking about flexibility here. But if you can hold it longer, your flexibility will increase. It's not unusual that the most flexible people in the room are holding the postures longer because they're giving their body more of a chance to stretch. So you have to cowboy up, manning up, and hold the posture a little bit longer. Here's another Jimmy Barkanism. The more patient you are in the first set, if you're doing 2 sets, and most of the time you are in the Bikram class, you always are. The Barkan class some of the time, or most of the time. The more patient you are in the first set, the more results you get into the second set.
That is very profound.
You should not be practicing the first and the second set the same way. And this is bringing us to tip number 2, and that's changing your mindset. The first set should be different than the second set. The first set's alignment. Where are we today? What happened last night? How long did I stay up for last night? Did I have a good sleep? Have I been doing yoga on a regular basis in my body? Maybe you took off too many days and now you're just in that warm-up phase. But the first set's the setup set. Now the second set, you can start to go a little bit further, a little bit sooner, because you've been there before. Don't treat the 2 sets the same. That's one of the big problems I see in the Bikram and the Barkan worlds is people are treating both sets the same. First set's a warm-up awareness set. Second set's when we go for it. Now this video is somebody that wants more flexibility, somebody that's stronger than they are flexible. Recently I did a video opposite, somebody that's more flexible than they are strong. We talked about building more strength. When you're stronger than you are flexible, don't worry about using your strength. A posture like standing head to knee, for example. You just can't pick up your foot and kick the leg out and kick it out and kick it out and kick it out. You're using too much strength.
Relax. Take it easy.
Part of tip number 2 is to relax more, to let go more. You're strong enough. You can hold that position for a long period of time, probably longer than the person that's more flexible than they are strong. Well, we have to get you loose and relaxed. That's changing of the mindset. Bikram used to always say in standing bow when people started to kick at the end, especially in the second set, because that's when you should be turning it on. He used to always say, let go and kick. Let go and kick. Don't hold on. In the Bikram world especially, everybody's tight, 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 tight. You have to relax more to get the muscles to respond. Mentally, you have to change your mindset. That's the only way the muscles are going to respond, because if you're too tight, because if you're thinking strong, 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 tight, 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 and you need more range of motion, more flexibility, you got to think the opposite. Loose, relax, let go, and kick. And that brings us to tip number 3, and that's the breath and timing the breath. I gave this equation in that last video I did about getting stronger than flexible. When we're doing a posture like cobra pose, do you exhale? When you start the pose, do you inhale, and as you come up, exhale? That's your first choice. Do you inhale, come all the way up, and then exhale? Second choice. Do you inhale, exhale, and then come up? Third choice. Which one is it? And it's a trick question because the answer is all 3. But if you're watching this video and you need to get more flexible than strong, you have the strength. You need to let the breath out sooner to allow for a range of motion, because here's the thing. The breath takes up a lot of room in the body, so you have to let the breath out for the flexibility to happen. So if you're stronger than you are flexible and we're doing a posture like cobra or full locust, you want to inhale, exhale, and then come up. And then we go into what we call the percentage breath, letting short sips of exhale out. As soon as 20% leaves the breath, you then take the breath back in when we're doing a posture like cobra, locust, full locust bow. That's when we're in that percentage breath. Bikram calls 80-20. But you have to time the breath, because if you're holding on to your breath, you're holding on to tension, you're not allowing for the range of motion and the flexibility to take place. You've got to let go of the breath in order for the body to respond. Tip number 3 is really important. Tip number 4, pay a little more attention to the challenge side. For example, you're doing a standing head to knee and your left side is more challenging than the right side. Many people will hold the right side longer for many reasons. One, it feels better. They look better to their peers and to the teacher. And when you're doing that, you're exploiting the better side. So the more you improve, and the problem with holding your better side longer, because as you improve, your imbalance actually increases. So what do we have to do? We have to hold the challenge side longer and allow it to catch up. And when I mean longer, I mean paying a little more attention to the challenge side. 5-10% at the most, because we do the opposite. We like to exploit our better side. We hold it longer, it looks better to our peers, it feels better. Challenge yourself, get your ego out of the way.
Ego is not your amigo.
And hold the challenge side longer, let it start to catch up, because the final equation is to have both sides even, which is really hard to do. Tony Sanchez, one of the best Bikram practitioners of the advanced class that I'd ever seen in my 44-year career, he could demonstrate the advanced class postures, 91 postures, on both sides of his body. That was the extraordinary thing. Back in the old days, and I've shown this picture on my video many times, and I could straighten my leg in the standing bow on my left side. I was never able to straighten my leg in the standing bow on the right side. And I didn't listen to this advice, and I held the better side longer because it felt better. And Bikram would show me off all the time. In fact, sometimes I would start the pose a little bit later so that everybody could see how wonderful I looked in the pose. At one point, Bikram figured it out. He goes, "You're starting late so that you could show off. Stop doing that and start on time." So do yourself a favor, hold the challenge side a little bit longer, 5%, 10% at the most. Which brings us now to point number 5, which I believe is the most important one if you want to gain more flexibility. And it really sort of ties into number 2 in changing your mindset. And that is this: less in the beginning, more at the end. One of the biggest mistakes I see beginners do are people that are stronger than they are flexible. They go too far too soon. When you go too far too soon, the body tightens up. The reason why the body tightens up because it's protecting itself. You're pushing it too much. If you ever went to a really deep massage therapist, if they go really deep, at least in my experience, they go really deep in the beginning and get down to the deep fascia, I say, stop it, you're killing me, it's too much. But if you work your way in there slowly, I'll let you get all the way to the bone if you take your time with it. Same thing in yoga. Less in the beginning. Because if you go too hard, the body will tighten up to protect itself. But if you start out easy and slow, the body says, okay, no problem, I can adjust to this is fine. And now as you start to hold the posture longer, the body starts to fatigue. And as the body fatigues, then it's able to let go into that full range of motion. So less in the beginning, more at the end. I've talked about Amy Cleese many times. She taught me the advanced class. God rest her soul, she passed away last year. She would wait until I was just about finished with the pose. And she would do it on purpose. And she saw that I'm just about to give up. And then she'd get on me. Hip back, shoulder down, body down, now kick, reach forward. I'm dying, but I know that what she's doing, because now at the end of the posture, my body's going to be more receptive to the position, and I'm going to go a lot further for her. As much as she would kick my ass, she knew when to do it at the end of the pose, because that's when the body is ready to give up. When the body fatigues, it'll open up for you. Don't do it so much in the beginning, because then you'll probably end up giving up. Your body tighten up on you and you're stuck, but allow the body to open. That's the whole beauty of yin yoga. If you've ever done yin yoga, they'll hold a position like 90-90 or pigeon pose for 10 minutes to soften the fascia, to soften the connective tissue, and then it begins to open up. In the hot yoga world, we don't hold it for that long period of time, but the concept is less in the beginning, more at the end. What a difference it's going to make. This 5th tip, again, is the most important one. It's going to transform your flexibility. And I want to share a story. I had a student in my class, my Fort Lauderdale student named Dennis, and he had very tight hamstrings. And standing head to knee, he could barely straighten his leg out. It was like halfway there, and he just complained all the time, Jimmy, I can't get better at standing head to knee. And I would start to give him these tips that I'm giving you on this video, and it definitely helped, but he just always was frustrated. However, he had extraordinarily flexible hips. He could do a posture like
Ego is not your amigo.
90-90 and go all the way forward and stay there all day long. He could watch television in fixed firm pose if he wanted to. So what I said to him, I said, Dennis, don't be so caught up in what you can't do. Enjoy and have gratitude for what you're able to do. I would never had the flexibility in your hips. I actually have had 2 hip replacements than you have. I happen to have very, very flexible hamstrings. You want to trade? Which obviously is absurd, because what is what is. That's where it goes to the whole don't make a judgment. That's why the story comes into the whole judgment thing. Stop making the judgment. This is what it is. You're doing the best possible thing you can for the situation. Be happy about that. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Any questions you have, concerns, put them down below in the comment section. I'd love to get back to you, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.